If you're looking to upgrade radios for your team, your operation, or maybe you're needing new radios, I want to share with you some great radios. And if you're just curious, if you're like me, you like to look at electronics and radios, these are some good ones to check out. So let's take a look at this. It's the Retevis RB75. These were sent to us for a quick review, especially for church security folks, since that's my main focus on the various platforms. This is a GMRS band portable radio. There is a license required, which is just really going on the FCC website and paying a fee and getting your license. And then that's good for your family. You can use these as like a business radio or a team operation. You just want to look into those licensing requirements. These are IP67 compliant. They're waterproof and dustproof. According to the standard, but it's more like water resistant for up to 3 feet for 30 minutes. These are 30 channel radios. Now the lower channels can talk with FRS and GMRS radios. So those family radio service, those little cheapy radios, you can communicate with those radios also on these. The upper channels are capable of connecting with repeaters. If you have those in the area, sometimes local GMRS clubs will put those up, or sometimes private folks will put those repeaters up. And so those are a great tool. These are compact and rugged design. They're really easy operation. I love the range. I love the sound. And they're a full 5 watts. So you get some great power out of these things. When you get the kit, it comes with the Retevis radio. And then it comes with a 4,500 milliamp lithium ion battery. It also comes with a belt clip. You can see the items here: a hand strap, a desktop charger, the charger adapter, so you can plug it into the wall because it's actually coming out of the charger. It actually is, at the end of it, is a USB-C plug. Then you've got the user's manual as well. A great little kit that you get in the package. So everything ready to go. I like that. It's ready to go right out of the box. When I took it out of the box, put the battery on it, it was ready to use. And I used it for a few hours doing some monitoring and messing with the buttons. Then we get into the accessories, and these are additional cost. These things run like $10-ish kind of thing, $10. You got the earpiece. You've got a programming cable where you can do some programming. Love the radio. Great for farm, construction, business, security, outdoor activities, all kinds of things. Of course, I'm focused on church security, church operations. It is very long range. It has that capability, hands-free voice operation, if you will. Great power. I've used this thing, had it sitting out for 3 days on my desk, and it has not gone dead. And they say in their statistical information that these things will run 100 hours plus in standby and 24 hours of talk time if you're using them heavy, and I believe it. So I just really love these radios. Great battery on these things. If you look at the radios themselves, right here on the side, you have this large push to talk button. And it's even highlighted a little bit orange there, if you will. I love that. The top button right here on the 2 of these is the Vox button.
Vox on.
And then, of course, turning it off.
Vox off.
And then we've got the next button. Here is the scan button, so you can scan the channels. I think that's a great feature. Here's what it sounds like pushing the scan button, which is the lower of the 2.
Scanning.
So you'll see it scanning, and then there'll be a blue light that begins to blink. And then when you turn it off, that blue light goes away.
Scanning.
And then the scanning's off. From what I understand, these buttons can also be programmed for other things as well. I love the sound of this. Just turning it on. If you listen to it when you go to turn it on, that's how you tell what channels it's sitting on. It'll tell you it's on and tell you what channel it's on.
Welcome. 12.
So channel 12.
13. 14. 15.
So that's a great way for you to tell what the channel is. You know, some people say they want to see it on the face of the radio, but hearing it is great, especially for the money, for the price of these things. So those buttons right there that we just talked about, volume button, on-off button, and then, of course, the larger one is the channel button. And then, you know, right here on the side, you can see it is where you just unscrew this and it opens up the plate like you see here. in the slide, and it's got the place to connect your programming cable, your headset accessory that we talked about earlier. This is just a good looking radio. I mean, if you take a look at it, it looks great sitting in the charger, sitting on your desk. I just love the looks of this radio, and the battery is heavy duty on this, and it's easy to remove. It's a simple pull on that button and the battery comes right off. And you also are attaching the belt clip to the back of this battery before you put it on. And again, easy operation, easy to put it together, if you will. So now I want to give you a quick demonstration, and there's all kinds of demonstrations out there on the how this radio or similar Retevis radios work with distance. There's a couple of them in here that show you that these things will go 2.5 miles pretty easily in flat ground or urban, rural type flat ground. And so, and there's even some discussions of them going even further. And that's before you get them into the repeaters. If you get them connected to repeaters, find those locally. So the distance on these is great as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to use them out running around. As far as I'm concerned, though, I'm more focused on the indoor, the church environment, church operation, church security. And maybe you're also thinking of that for indoor operations or around your buildings for security. So I want to take a look here a moment. I just did a quick test within our building, and our building has some great features where it has lots of walls and stick structures, wooden structures and stairwells and all kinds of things. And right down the middle of our church in the building is also a block wall. So we've got that feature to contend with, and then a little bit further distance down there. So I set up this little test for you just so that you can see, and I can move around so you can see that this radio really sounds good and has great reception. So let's take a look at that. I just want to test in a couple different areas as I get quite a ways away from the radio that's sitting in the front of the microphone there. I've gone through several walls, a labyrinth of hallways and classrooms, and now I'm into one of our main meeting areas here. And we have stairwells and different buildings or different rooms that we're going through, all to test how much does this reach out and how clear is it. And I love this. I love these radios. Let's give it a quick test.
Check 1 2, check. Testing 1 2 3, WRZZ 916.
So you can see how clear it is, and we're going through multiple rooms, multiple walls for this. So, you know, most of our churches, this is going to work pretty well for. And so as we get into this area, I just want to point out that this section, it's older construction versus new. So now we have here a brick wall that's coming into play here between these two sections of the building. So we're going to mosey on over here and take a look at what happens when we get into another section. Now we're several walls, including that block wall between us and the other radio unit that we're testing. So, and this is the normal work environment for us at church, whether it's for some sort of operations or for security. This is our typical operating environment. We're halfway through the building area. So quick test.
Check 1 2. Test 1 2 3.
And so these things work, as you can hear. They work great. And we go just a little bit further through a few more sections, a couple of walls here, and we can see these things are still working very, very well.
Test 1 2, test 1 2 3 4 5 6.
So you can see this is just a great radio, especially for operations indoors or around buildings. This really has a strong signal and sounds good, sounds crisp. And so I love this thing. And I want to encourage you that from my standpoint, this is a great radio. And from my experience, the weak points, you know what? The weak points are pretty weak as far as I'm concerned. So really one of the biggest issues is you got to register. You got to get that FRS or a GMRS license from the FCC. It's just a pay. It's not like the ham license where you got to study and it's a big test and it's 3 parts, and you just have to go on and register and pay the fee. And I think the fee was $35 as of the recording of this video. The belt clip, it might be considered weak, but that's always an issue with radio. So I actually consider this one to be a little stronger than average to me, but I did see some complaints in the discussion about the belt clip being a little bit weak, but I don't see that. So, but it is, it tends to be a weak point. I have broken a belt clip in the past, not for this radio, but simply because I got into a chair with the radio on and it was positioned back just right to where when I sat back in the chair, it ripped the radio off. So the earpiece is also very simple for this. So it's not a real fancy thing as I see it, but overall the weak points, like I said, they're weak. So I really like this radio. It's a good radio, good value, and I think well worth the money as far as I'm concerned. They're simple radios, but I think simple's good, especially if you're running a crew. I think that it's good to just be able to turn the thing on, turn the channel, and it's easy for your crew to use or your family or whoever that might be. These are simple little radios. They are sturdy and they're just good. They got a good signal and they're strong, as we heard. Loud and clear. They work right out of the box. And they have a great battery life as far as I'm concerned. So I want to encourage you to take a look at these yourself, because as far as I'm concerned, and I've used a lot of radios in my law enforcement career and certainly security here at the church, and I like these, especially balanced with the price. Great radios, and I would not hesitate to recommend them to you for your team or your operation.